fan. A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulation.
Thank you for supporting the Detroit Cast.
Without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Yes. Hello. Welcome to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay, Big E, Dog. Starting off with a double goocher.
Double goocher, yeah.
Not a good way to start.
Not a good salt. Not a good way to start the week.
Yes. How are you, my friend? You look tired. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, you had a long weekend.
Less than stellar.
Sorry. If you need to K-Dog it and bail out halfway through the show, just give us a wave.
Just get up and leave. Go start my car.
We'll fully understand. Don't sweat it.
Wait a minute. What are we waiting for to ask a dog? Remember?
Oh, if he had dug a well.
I did not dig a well.
Didn't you fix a well or something?
Yeah, the pump in the well went out, and so I had to pull it back up.
Reset this. What was this going back to?
I don't know, man. Oh, there's a listener who was
said
like,
that you should, to save money, that you should dig your own well in your backyard.
Yeah.
And then we thought that Kadog, I said that he
didn't
had.
Kadog dig a well, and you got up and you went to start your car.
And we said, well, he'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back in a minute. He always comes back. Nah, you were gone.
Yeah, you missed. I had actually started the car previous to that, so the second trip was when I was actually leaving.
Gotcha.
Aha. But yeah, that was like 2 weeks it took you to like dig by hand.
Yeah, because what had happened is I thought the pump at the bottom burned out, and it did. But the reason it burnt out is because there's a horizontal shaft that meets the vertical shaft, and there's an adapter there that actually rotted out. And so I had to dig that adapter
really
back
nerdy
out.
Really quick.
Oh, yeah.
Two shafts.
Some of that too. I was thinking about something else while he was talking.
I was staring through him. I'm like, oh. Well, what color eyes does Kadog have anyway?
You son of a bitch. At least one person wanted to hear that story, and you're ruining it for them.
Go ahead. Finish your thought. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. We do a whole show for one person.
Yeah, and so I had to dig out that adapter, and that's like 5 foot down into the ground. So there was a giant trench that I had to hand dig, replace the adapter, and then put it all back together.
Thank God you made it.
It was a nightmare.
Question that should have been answered on Thursday last week, but hey, we promise we get the answer.
We never leave any stone unturned.
Absolutely not. Anyway, interesting weekend. It's I guess good to be back after the weekend. Mine was long. I had a dog here.
Oof.
Part of it.
A new dog or the poos?
Both.
Oh no.
A one-eyed dog.
Oh.
Yes, a pit bull with one eye that's still sewn shut.
Ooh.
And wearing a cone. Dude.
It sounds like something out of the Little Rascals, man.
Yes, it was. I'm over at Best. She's like, yeah, will you come over and, just let it out while I'm at work? I'm like, yeah, no problem. I brought my book. I figured I'd come over, spend a little time with it. I had this book I had to read. And so I go over there, and the thing is in a cage, and it's basically chewed through its collar and is sitting in this cage and scratching its eye, of which it doesn't have an eye anymore. It's just a sewed up slit. Harry is his name. Harry.
I'm shocked it doesn't have is it okay? It doesn't need the cone still, or no? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we take it off a little bit here and there, but yeah, no. And so I get him out of there, and I'm literally mad at Beth now. I'm mad at her because she's put me in a position where Poos is jumping on me and wants to go outside. This thing's got one eye and it's giving me the stink eye. It's going, what am I doing here? And it's got a collar that's half on its head that's connected to its thing. And I'm like, I'm so overwhelmed right now. I don't even know what to do with this thing.
You just met Harry.
I just met Harry, man, and I didn't know what to do with him, and I felt bad for him. There he is.
There's that proof.
And he's the sweetest thing in the world, but I was like, I sat down, and I was almost in tears. I'm like, going to write Beth a text. Like,
almost in tears.
I'm like, I
picture Miguel so overwhelmed. He's almost in tears.
I never touched my book, and I sat there, and I'm just like, I spent the next 2 hours trying to just keep its hands off its eye because the cone was all mangled. I couldn't put that on its, and it's itchy and it's in pain. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. This is so out of my league. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Did you have how did I get here kind of feeling? Like,
yes.
What did I do to be put in this situation?
What led to this where now I'm in charge? I'm in charge.
You banged Beth.
I guess. And then we bring the thing over here last night, and it's never walked a staircase before.
It's
Never.
Where did this dog grow up?
I don't know. It's never walked the staircase. It took 15 minutes of Beth going like step by step, like inching it, and this thing's just like, oh man, that looks steep. What do I do now? Now what? And it would go down one step, and then Beth's like, come on, you can do it. And it's just like, no, I can't. No. And it freaked the thing out. I mean, it's just sitting there. It won't move. And it's like stuck at the top step. It wasn't, but he's learning now. He's
How old
doing
is this
better.
Booze?
He's like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
He's just a baby.
What's the deal with his eye?
He had some issue with it. They didn't
Sure.
just take it out all willy-nilly for no reason. I mean, well, I shouldn't say. I haven't talked to the doctors. I'm assuming it wasn't just like cosmetic. That there was some sort of
Some
issue. Yeah. So my weekend was spent at least in part with Harry Man there, who's looking for a new home. If anyone's interested, he's the sweetest dog in the world. He really is. But he's getting acclimated.
Yeah, until you put him around a 6-month-old,
Well,
then I'll
put him
rip
around
its
a
head off.
Don't put him
Or
around
a
a step. Or a step. Yeah, he's intimidated by steps. There he is. Anyway, we had some busy weekends from the crew around here, and of course March Madness. Where do we start? Should we start? What did you do? You had your comedy thing. How did that go?
It went all right. It was a good crowd.
In Flint.
Flint, Michigan.
Who
I know.
did you drink the water?
I did make, you know what? I did make a comment. I wasn't going to, but
Made
I
a dirty water joke.
No, I didn't make one, but there
How
was,
many people did? All of them? All the comics.
I
They
think
had to.
everyone referenced it.
Yeah.
I referenced it in response of a guy making fun of my hair. So I referenced it towards that dude, hoping that he would drink some water, I think, or something. I don't know. It was
a cheap shot.
well, he took a cheap shot of my hair first, and I'm on the stage. God damn it!
The greasy plume.
I know it
What
was
could he
under
possibly
attack.
say about it?
It was under attack. Well, what had happened was the comic before me was doing some material, and he talked about how the premise was that he thinks he actually likes comedy better than sex. And sometimes it's a lot of comics like to, when you do stuff like this, to maybe take something that other person did and kind of, as a way to start your set, kind of reference something they did. So I said the same thing, and I said, but then I said kind of like, well, to be fair, I've done like comedy like 20 times this year, but I haven't had sex, so I don't really know if I can say whether I like one better than the other. And the guy's like, maybe you should get your hair cut. And then I don't remember how I referenced drinking water. I don't know how the water came up. I actually ended up getting kind of into it with that guy for a little bit, but
Yeah.
oh well. Turned out pretty
Was
good
he a
overall,
listener?
though.
Did you know him,
No,
or was he a
no.
listener, or just someone that happened to be at the club?
No, and overall it turned out very well. And
Yeah.
the guy liked me enough that I'm gonna come back and do another one of his shows at one point.
Cool.
I will say though, I did have a few listeners that asked me about coming via the social networking, and I steered every one of them a different direction this Saturday night.
Cadogs.
To a certain asshole's performance.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many. I know somebody showed up, but I don't know how many. If it was just one or a few.
How did it go, Kadog? Of course, we're talking about your charity for the losing her eyesight girl, the girl that's losing her eyesight, demacular degeneration, and you guys were doing what is it? The group you do? It's like an improv group.
It's a troop.
improv group.
Yeah, it's troop. Is that with an E?
It's with an E.
With an E. So
Very
Kadog's
hoity-toity.
improv troupe with an E. And that was Saturday night, and we encouraged some people to go out there if they could film this. Maybe so was the turnout okay? Did you guys have fun?
Yeah, the turnout was good. There was about 70 people, although I would
Wow.
say that the Detroit cast was very underrepresented
What?
as a group. Yes.
What?
One listener.
What?
That's all I wanted.
I
There
know,
were
but
two. There were two.
There
I've
were
got
two?
I've got emails from 2 people. So there are
Okay.
at least 2.
Only one approached me, so I
In
apologize.
Well,
fairness,
Kadog,
I don't think I would approach you
Right. Right.
if I went there.
It is a bit overwhelming, but I am just a normal person, so you should have approached me. I'm very approachable.
Yeah. Well, kind of an asshole too at times. So
Yeah,
that's
but-
well established. How did it go?
Like I said, it was a great show. I was not aware, but the Armada High School actually sent a troupe as well, so we were performing with them, and those kids were phenomenal. And
High school troop?
a high school
Nice.
troupe, like
Any hot chicks?
fearless on the stage.
Any hot chicks?
Walters would have been in his element. He should have came out.
Damn it! I could have been there, and I could have talked to you, Kadog, after, and that would have been my into high school chicks. Never mind.
Yeah.
Shouldn't say that.
That doesn't sound good. So did you do all right? Did you stumble at any point during the show, or did you
I heard a
did you
reference to a poop and making poop gold or something.
Yeah, I did say something about putting gold on a turd, which out of context doesn't really sound very funny. But if you
No,
would've been there,
no, it
would've been
doesn't.
I know it was videotaped, so hopefully I'll be able to get that footage. I've put out
Nice.
a request for it, so hopefully that comes through.
You filled out the formal paperwork, the
Yeah,
proper
Freedom
paperwork.
of Information Act.
In triplicate. We have two listeners who wrote in. Josh writes in. Just wanted to say it was cool to. I'm just reading.
Right.
Just wanted to say it was cool to see Kadog in his natural environment as an actor. Well done,
That's
sir.
good.
I can understand why Kadog may not have publicized and pushed this much. It was literally a family event with kids running around and all. Not that the standard cast fan couldn't fit in, but definitely not a place for random dickheads. My wife and I, most of the show, or we missed most of the show since we got there well after it started. I wish the events section on the DCast site had better or any relevant information for those of us who would go support even non-show themed events.
I'm not putting Kadog's thing up there. I said it enough. I think I talked about it more than anybody.
Josh says, we saw the musical chairs bit and it was pretty entertaining. Hopefully I can get news for the next show and plan for a starting time. Oh, and I won't mention what happened to the poor Proops that ate Kadog's popcorn. I doubt Kadog will have the video, but I saw it being recorded, so footage exists. Just saying, Josh. Is there a Proops that ate your popcorn?
Yeah, it was part of the musical chairs segment.
Okay. Well, we'll have to watch the video. Also, Jackie writes in, cult leader, king, and etard. Quick word on Kadog's improv on Saturday. I have to say he was one of the better ones on stage. Quick-witted and funny.
Oh, better ones,
both-
though? Not
both-
the best?
Both quick-witted and funny.
Well, he's going up against high school kids. I mean,
The leader of the group seemed to rely on him to be in a lot of the sketches. There were a bunch of high schoolers involved, and it was kid-friendly. It was a kid-friendly show, so it had to be clean and still be funny. Jenna was absolutely adorable with a good sense of humor. She takes 147 pills a week when she's healthy, and now she is considered blind. If they do another show for her, I hope more people show up. It was fun and help that sweet girl. Bye-bye, Jackie.
in fairness, I know drug addicts that take way more than 140 pills a week. I'm just saying.
It's true.
For what it's worth.
Some may be in a day.
P.S. says Jackie, he really is lucky. Robin is cute, good rack, and even brings him beers.
Take that as a compliment, right?
Yeah, as
That's-
you would too.
Pretty. Yeah, that's as good as it gets, actually.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like a bad weekend for the team then. Jay, I know yours was
I was deep in the bowels of Ohio.
ooh,
Oh.
sorry to hear that.
Oh,
How far into Ohio were you?
That other
Dayton,
country.
around Dayton area for
Yeah.
some soccer with Russell.
Yeah.
We had a good time, me and Russell, and it's
just you two go?
Yeah, it was just me and him because Manny had some stuff back here that
Yeah.
Gab had to attend to. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. I always like getting away with one of them,
Yeah.
spend some more time, but just I don't know, just long. Dude, sleeping in hotels sucks. For the record,
I love it.
Mr. I love hotel guy. Oh,
I love sleeping in hotels.
I'm telling you, man, from 3 o'clock on, it's like every 10 minutes waking up to some asshole letting their door slam from 3 a.m. on.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no doubt that hallway traffic and inadvertent door closes
Or the
phone rings
stomping
through
above
walls.
you.
Yeah.
Who are these stomping walkers?
Yeah. Who are the, that's a good question. Who are these asswipes
never-
that are stomping on the floors above you? That
You're
happens
right.
every hotel you stay at.
Ugh.
It never gets to me. I guess I know what you're saying, but it
Got
never
like
gets
5
to me.
hours of sleep total between the 2 nights, but whatever.
I used to be like E. I used to like crashing in hotel rooms, but I've gotten weirder about it as time's gone on. I'm always like, now I'm that guy that's like, oh man, I know these sheets were cummed on
Oh, yeah.
like an hour before I came in here. I know they were.
You always get rid of the top layer, man. Don't touch the top layer.
that is the key.
Is that
right?
why?
'Cause
Now
they, 'cause
why?
they never wash that.
Yeah, those
It's because
comforter things.
right that they just throw on the ground and the sheets they wash. Maybe not every time, but they wash.
I think I trust them to every
I think-
time watch the sheets. I assume they do.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny? I actually forgot about this. I for one day did housekeeping for a hotel. I completely forgot about
What
it.
hotel?
Wait a minute. What shithole employed you to wash the
what had
hotels?
happened was that I'd fill out an application and they called me and it was a hotel in Novi actually.
Which one?
Or not Novi, Wixom, one of those two. I forget which one it's called. It's actually I think changed names now, but there's two in the Wixom exit off 96 and Wixom. And I completely forgot about this. I completely forgot about this.
You were a maid?
For one day.
Picture that asshole sauntering down the hallway with his little cart.
Well, I had to
Can I get an extra towel?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yes, sir.
I had to
Give him the dirty one that the other guy just gave him.
Well, I had to follow them. I had to follow the person because it was my first day of training. And
Gross.
jeez. And Yeah, dude, I don't think that we did. I think we took the sheets and put them in whatever we put them in. But we did that top thing then, and I just for me just one day. You know the funny thing?
One day, what happened? Were you fired or did you just quit?
He literally. My mom. I thought later.
What did your mom do?
No, I felt
You
like
mentioned your mom.
No, her opinion, and I had the same opinion. It felt like afterwards, almost that I.
As the crow flies. Come on.
I didn't fit the demographic that they were looking to hire, and it's almost like they just used me for a day of free work. Because he was like, "Oh yes, we'll call you back tomorrow," or blah blah blah, and then they just didn't. And I can't believe
you probably showed yourself to be a complete asshole within that training period.
No, probably not.
No way.
Nope,
no
not
chance.
Not
no
at
chance.
all.
No chance at all.
Nope. I worked pretty hard.
I wouldn't mind talking to the manager on that shift. That's all I'm saying.
It was years ago. I haven't thought about that. And I don't know why that came up. Yeah, probably. Well, it's a change. I think the name's changed even now, but
yeah,
whatever. I'd forgotten about that though.
The other thing, of course, over the weekend that we got the NCAA tournament started. I know. I hate to do it to you, Jay. I hate to bring it up.
You're bringing me out of my denial, my deep, deep denial.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Well, tough weekend for all the teams, really.
I don't care about any other team.
I know you don't. I know. I'm sorry. I know how tired you are. I shouldn't pile on. I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention.
Yeah, I think it's a story.
The tournament. And if this, I don't know if this helps any, Jay, but Friday was the first time in NCAA tournament history that number 2, number 3, and number 4 seed have lost first round games on the same day.
No, it doesn't help.
Okay. It's, obviously if that's true, then that also means it's the first time ever a number 13, 14, and 15 seed have won tournament games on the same day.
No, that doesn't help either.
No. 8 teams seeded number 11 or worse have advanced into the second round, highest such number in NCAA tournament history. Does that soften the blow?
No.
The worst seeded team won 6 times on Friday and 7 times on Thursday. In 2015, that happened 5 times on the tournament's opening Thursday and Friday combined. Does that soften the blow?
No. You know how ESPN has everybody enter their bracket online and they check after like a day and they're like, nobody has a perfect bracket, and it just shows you just how enormously difficult this thing is. After the first weekend, somebody was telling me there were 31 brackets with 1 loss. Every one of them was state.
Really?
Can you imagine though having every other game after the first weekend?
What? No.
That's sick.
Well, these are definitely people probably that I know still. I get it, but they probably filled out 20, 100. You're right.
The 13 first-round wins for lower-seeded teams ties the NCAA record set in 2001. They were, some of the articles I was reading, honestly, I was not home a lot and didn't watch as much as I would have liked of the tournament, but people really pointed to the Middle Tennessee State, Michigan State game and also the Michigan game as 2 of the best games of the weekend overall.
Yeah, I didn't see any of the Michigan game. I saw the former that you mentioned, and dude, they kicked our ass. I mean, from start to finish.
Miss. They could. What do you do with a team that can't miss?
I don't know. You cover them.
Yeah,
it's been the Spartans' Achilles heel for years, being able to defend the 3. But whatever, man.
Yeah,
like I tweeted out, I'm seriously done. Like being a sports.
Mike,
I'm done. I'm done.
You can't take all the highs.
I'm done.
And then
this is what I've resolved. The highs don't even compare.
Really?
I get so like I'm like driving to Ohio right after that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is like wrecking me. This is stupid. I have way too much going on in my life to let something like that bring me down. I cannot emotionally invest in this anymore. Mike, I'm going to watch with interest. I'm not going to emotionally.
Not pulling the Lions. Dude, your team is good.
I know, and that's great. But I'm telling you, dude,
they've had so much success. You can't look at the successes they've had.
It's ridiculous that could affect me. I have borrowed Mike's beautiful 52-inch plasma TV. Is that what it is?
I gave it to you, but yeah,
it's a beautiful TV that I borrowed.
Did you break it? Does it have a brick through it now?
Dude, there were 3 times where I almost took the remote and whipped it through there. There was almost plasma dripping on my living room.
Really?
Carpet.
That bad? It got that bad?
And then I looked at myself after. I'm like, what was that? I can't do that. This is stupid. There's not enough time in the day to get upset like this.
Yeah. Well, the experts are saying as far as significance goes, that may have been the biggest upset in the tournament's history. Whatever. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Heading into this tournament,
they kicked their ass too. It wasn't just when you see these things, maybe it's 1 or 2 guys going off. that team looked just better.
Yeah.
Like all 5 guys on that floor looked better.
Yeah.
But for Costello had a really solid game. But dude, like from start to finish,
They didn't lead for a second.
No,
The
it was
whole game.
15-2, like in the first minute. Like,
Yeah.
oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Heading into this tournament, the major topic of discussion, as we know, was why isn't Michigan State a 1 seed? They should have been a 1 seed, and they get seeded to. People point out to the fact that probably goes back to Valentine being injured in December,
Yeah, they
missing
had their
15 games.
bumps
and-
in the road there.
Yeah. They said, what are you looking at, E?
I was wondering what happened in the next game, but I didn't realize it's happening right now.
Oh, which
Yeah.
game? Oh, why are the scores changing or something?
Well,
as you're
Middle
looking at it?
Tennessee.
I just didn't know if they. I
No,
didn't keep
they'll
track of the
probably
days.
look just totally pedestrian.
Average.
Like,
Yeah.
blew
They
their wad.
they happen to be one of the 2 top favorites to win the entire national championship, Michigan State, kind of as you pointed to. Now the Spartans will be forever remembered as being on the receiving end of arguably the worst loss there. It's a statement that seems hyperbolic until you dig into the minutia of just how improbable Middle Tennessee State's 90-81 triumph was. A total of 13.02 million brackets were entered this year through ESPN. 22.3% of them had State winning it all. Outdone only by Kansas, who had 25%.
Yeah,
They're
right
the top one. Those gambling with actual money were even more confident about State. This is a Spartans team that was the consensus number 1 until, what I just said. Middle Tennessee State, a team which went 13-5 in Conference USA play.
And they lost their 2 guards, man.
And they lost non-conference games to the likes of Georgia State, Murray State, and South Dakota State. How does this? It's March Madness. Like, how do you explain this any other way? The Blue Raiders, did anyone even know what their name was? The Blue Raiders. They entered Friday with the 198th most efficient offense in Division I, averaging 72 points per game. They ranked 189th in the country. That same team did not trail State for a second Friday. They put up 90 points on not just any Tom Izzo team in March, but likely one of the 2 or 3 best Tom Izzo teams we've ever seen in March. They also did this on an afternoon when the Spartans hit 10 threes.
How can you say that's one of the 2 or 3 best teams ever? for
I
Tom
didn't
Izzo?
say that. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
according to the article. I don't know. All 5 of their starters, as you were alluding to again, were in double figures.
They
So
crushed, man. They would have beat a lot of teams that night. I'm not like, hedging for State here. We got our asses kicked, but that
Yeah.
team, that Middle Tennessee State team would have beaten a lot of teams.
Yeah. No,
But
you're probably
we
right.
See them up against number 10 Syracuse. I guess they're trailing by 4.
Yeah.
They blew
At
their
half.
wad. It happens.
There were a lot of people say, I heard a lot of people discuss, and now they were not talking about Michigan State when they were saying this. They were talking about the 1 and 2 seeds were in a different group than the rest of the brackets. But when you started getting into the 3 through 16, they were pick'em games.
Yeah.
I heard Charles Barkley and those guys talking about that. They were like, look, these teams are way more evenly matched than people want to give them credit for. This is not your standard
This isn't 20 years ago, 15
seed.
years
right,
ago.
Right.
Yeah, we're getting into the days where, in football, for example, MAC teams aren't just rollover teams anymore. These teams that you're seeing in this tournament at, as you say, 14, who beat West Virginia handily. Stephen F. Austin.
Yeah.
It was just, you saw that time after time. Yale winning.
Took up. God damn it.
Yeah.
People were having a lot of fun at my expense early on
Yeah,
Friday.
me included.
Thursday. Was that Thursday?
You asshole.
That was Thursday.
Yeah. A lot of you sons of bitches out
How
there.
could Mike have possibly picked
What?
Baylor to win it?
Who's he? That stupid son of a bitch. Lot of
On
you
your
people out there.
recommendation, I picked Baylor to move quite far in the tournament.
I
sir.
specifically asked none of you to do that. And you weren't the only one. There were a few people like, God damn it, Walters, I picked Baylor. I'm like, oh, well, don't blame me. I've admitted that I don't know dick about
I
this.
know.
You kidding me?
I'd heard other people tell me too, though, that they felt like Baylor was this team that, even though they were seeded 5, had this really good chance. I guess I didn't watch any basketball throughout the year, though.
Is this overall good for the tournament, though? Let's assume there is parity and this continues year to year to year. Like, is this better where anybody could win, or was it better when it was remarkable when there was an upset?
That's a really good question. Yeah, you loved seeing those when it was like
when there was just
some
that,
11 seed out of nowhere.
that one in the first round, that just the one. Everybody else kind of went, maybe a 9 beats an 8, whatever.
Yeah.
10 beats a 7, but yeah, that number 3 rises up, or the 5-12 or whatever.
The 5-12
yeah.
deal. Yeah, which every year
Happens
it seems
every
like it happens every year, at least one or just one 5 versus 12 flips. But yeah, seeing something like a 15-2 and a
So is it good if we
14-3
proceed like this? Where and again, I'm just not sour grapes because my guys lost it too. I'm just saying, is that good for everybody's interest in this? Isn't what everybody loves is just that out of nowhere win. And if everything's just up for grabs now, maybe that doesn't have the same level of excitement. I don't know.
That's just college basketball how it is right now with the one and done situation. I don't know how that's
always
gonna go.
been one and done.
Yeah, it has. And in the tournament?
No, you've been able to go. No, I mean, you've been able to be 19. You could go out of high school. I'm talking that you only have. I'm talking that. Yeah, I'm saying that kids don't have to stay. They only have to stay the 1 year. That's what I meant.
Yeah. No, I don't know how much
programs building seniors.
I think that affects the Kansases of the world and the Kentuckys that are. You wouldn't think it would affect the Michigan States as much. The whole one and done kid that we know that Izzo doesn't target so much. I thought
Izzo, that was a senior laden team.
Yeah. I thought Izzo was graceful as ever in defeat. I thought he spoke.
I have no idea because as soon as that happened, I haven't read a thing. I haven't thought about it. I mean,
really?
I'm literally in
you
denial.
were busy though.
I can't believe that wasn't a dream, dude. This is for real.
I know. No, I thought he was really, he came out and it would have been easy to go, God damn it. What? We lost to who? What? Are you kidding me? But he was
their ass handed to him.
He was totally like, I know what these kids have given me, my seniors especially. I mean, he was getting choked up.
Well, that was the thing. He all year had said that this is a really tight group. Like these guys, it's not a coincidence that they, I think, led the country in assists. They're just really unselfish and playing for each other and stuff. So that kind of sucks to see a team like that go so early. But at the same time, hey, Valentine will go make his millions and everybody will be just fine. So.
How are our polls doing? Our pools. We've got the Detroit Cast pool going.
Mine is dead to me. I don't care.
Well, I'll keep tabs on yours then. Mine should be dead too. Of course, I had Baylor picked. I did 2 pools, but I had Baylor picked in the one, and I'm in 15th place right now.
With which one?
With my Baylor pick. Yeah. Fortunately for me, like 80% of the ones ahead of me had Michigan State. So they're equally as fucked as I am. As far as that goes, I don't remember how far I had State going in that one. I don't remember if I had them going out early. In one of them, I thought I had State going out early, but I could be wrong. Leading the way is some asshole named Michael Hampton. He's got Kansas picked to win.
Yeah. Well,
T-Mac has got Xavier. He's in second place, or he's tied for first. Yeah. Anyway, Jay, you're in 24th place right now, so you're on the same page with me. It's not like you're relegated to the second or third page.
Good.
You're in second place of the people in this room, which isn't bad. Unfortunately, you had State
2 of 4. No offense.
I think you want to check that a little bit closer.
Ooh,
Kadog up there.
Kadog is tied for 24th with Mr. Detroit Cast.
Well, I've got a better upside.
Wait a minute. How did you've got a better upside? Okay, you guys both picked. Wait, Jay picked 28 right. Kadog picked 29 right. And I don't understand why you're not ahead of him then, but whatever. And then Eric is.
It doesn't matter. My championship teams are both out, so it's really done.
I mean, you got to get deep into the second page, or you find young Mr. Fady in 52nd place.
Yeah, it's over.
Woo!
This is probably one of the worst brackets I've ever filled out.
And you had State and mine in 76.
Baylor. By the way, State playing Baylor. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it is done. Like some people are like, I'm done. They're like, everyone's done. Mine's done.
And then I had in 76th place, but I've got North Carolina winning that. So,
and if that wasn't a riveting enough segment, we'll be talking about our fantasy football picks coming up next, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, back by popular demand, Zott Ford is conducting its amazing Key for Key event. Right now, exchange your current vehicle for a brand new 2016 Ford without spending a dime out of your pocket. Also, they may be able to match or lower your monthly payment. Zott Ford will assist you in terminating the remainder of your loan or lease, no matter what you owe. Plus, Zott Ford will make your first month's payment. So hurry. When March ends, so does Key for Key.
See more riots broke out at a Trump event over the weekend.
Yeah, that's That's what's going on now. What's it in Arizona?
He was in Arizona, yeah. Bernie Sanders was also in Arizona, but Trump was there. He's of course siding with his supporters and his campaign manager.
Yeah, the campaign manager is personally involved in this one, right?
Yeah, Corey Lewandowski, who was rumored to be involved in the
grabbing of the female
Breitbart
reporter.
Yeah, reporter. And this happened in Arizona. Apparently, Corey had grabbed someone else. He was speaking with George Stephanopoulos. Trump was this weekend. He says, "I think it's very unfair that these really in many cases professional, in many cases sick protesters can put cars in the road, blocking thousands of great Americans from coming to a speech, and nobody says something about that." That was rather disturbing, seeing the protesters blocking the freeway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it looked like a Black Lives Matter movement, you know, just like, oh, let's get our cars out on the freeway and stop traffic, the only road into where this ordeal was taking place, which is bullshit if you ask me. But Trump also defended Lewandowski, who was captured on video grabbing a protester by the collar in Tucson. I give him credit for having spirit. Stephanopoulos asked Trump why Lewandowski would be milling about the crowd and thus put himself in a situation where he would have physical contact with a protester. And he said because the security at the arena, the police were a little lax, he wanted to take down those horrible profanity-laced signs. One such sign said, "Trump late for a Klan meeting." The most violent incident occurred at this same rally in Tucson when a white man, they have to point out he's a white man as if race had something. Well, I guess race sort of does, but white guy wearing an American flag shirt was being let out of the event when a black Trump supporter, Tony Petway, repeatedly kicked and punched him. The victim was being let out alongside another demonstrator who was wearing a KKK-style hood.
A black Trump supporter. We were led to believe there was no such thing.
I
The
remember
dodo
that.
bird.
And he'd also performed a Nazi salute when walking out. Do we have a video of that? Did you see this video? You
No,
probably didn't.
no.
He's cute. He's a disgusting guy.
Look at these assholes.
That is a disgusting guy.
And we're a Klan
Really
hood.
disgusting. A big wheel. Big wheel.
Klan hood walking up the stairs.
Here comes the
Oh.
black guy.
Wow, yeah, he's pummeling him. Kicking.
Yep.
Oof. Damn.
That's Tony Petway, the dodo bird, dodo egg, as you refer to him as. And he,
immediately arrested. What are you thinking, man?
well, in his defense, not so tough there with your Klan hood anymore, huh, sweetheart? You know, as a black guy in the crowd there, I think I'd be a little pissed off at seeing a couple coming up in Klan hoods doing Nazi
Sticks and
salutes
stones,
too.
Mike. Come on.
I know,
But
but
just
they're,
pound the guy.
well, yeah, you don't.
Especially when you're
You don't want that, but if you're going to egg that on,
you're so supportive of Trump, and you know that all this is an enormous black stain. That's what they want you to do. They want you to do this so that they can continue to blast this thing that, oh my God, everybody's violent and Trump's doing nothing to stop it. He's a rabble rouser.
He said these people are disruptive, explaining that the victim of the attack and his partner were wearing Ku Klux Klan outfits. Trump noted his supporter was black, who was very incensed at seeing the KKK symbolism. A protester was wearing the outfit to a rally, and he went wild. And frankly, it was a tough thing to watch. But why would a protester walk into a room with a Klan outfit on? Is what Trump was
Well, didn't we just talk about a couple weeks ago how the Klan had their right to protest? Where was that? San Fran, where they got the shit beat out of them?
Yeah, yep.
So it goes both ways, you know. It can't just be as disgusting as that is,
Yeah.
and as that side of things is. They have the right to do that and not be beat up.
Yeah, usually that sort of stuff takes place outside the venue. Like they set aside space. And what's going on at a lot of these rallies that we're seeing is people go in under the guise of being a fan or a supporter, and then they don these signs and these masks, and then they start shit with people, and they incite this kind of behavior. And it's not good, but you can see where that comes from. You can see where if you're in people's spaces and wearing an outfit like that, you're going to piss some people off.
Yeah, but I don't see why a guy being let out, I don't care what he says to me, you know, that's not going to make me just cold cock the dude and just start.
Yeah. Are they being
stomping
let
on
out,
him.
or are they just walking
It
through?
looked like he was being let out. Am I wrong on that?
I don't know. I didn't catch that. Maybe.
It's not like the guy was in his face chirping and
Yeah.
threatening. He's being led up the stairs, I thought.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Terry?
Disgusting
Or-
guy.
Yeah,
That
Petway.
is a disgusting
Are they
guy.
being let out?
yeah, I think there's
Okay, okay, yeah, you're right.
security
You're
right
right. There's a
behind.
couple cops there. Okay.
Like,
A big
he's
hadn't
leaving,
noticed that.
you know?
Big wheel.
Can't just pound the guy.
I'd like to know what was on that sign. Obviously, he took offense to that sign, whatever that was. You see him rip it out of his hand.
Yeah.
Not that it matters. I agree with you. I agree.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It shouldn't shock anyone that this happens, though. Where you don't see this going on is you don't see protesters from the right showing up at the Hillary Clinton shit, starting stuff like this. It seems to be very one-sided where a lot of this stuff comes from. But whatever. Anyway, that's of course the big news. And then the other one involving Trump was his son Eric getting the note and the white powder
Yeah.
in the mail.
His son Eric's wife, actually, who we looked at the other day and chuckled
Yeah.
how an individual, isn't it funny?
Crazy.
Yes, these
Yes.
the stars just crossed a certain way and these two found each other.
Right.
Amazing.
Just they must have just been at a bar,
Eric
social
Trump and
meeting.
this former model or whatever she is.
Yeah.
This goofy ass looking Eric Trump guy.
He is. You can see just enough Trump in him to know it's Trump's kid, but
Yeah,
you know,
just a homely dude.
yeah. Trump's.
Look at how nice.
See,
How
I don't
nice.
even think she's that high. I mean, she's
right.
she's
But for
got
that guy. That's the
But it definitely you look at him and you go, which one of these doesn't belong?
totally. But when I look at her, I'm just like, yeah, she thinks she's hotter than she is, and she obviously landed a Trump, I guess. If
Yeah.
you know, ooh,
Look
Yeah.
at him.
yeah. But when you look the comparison, I
Look
mean,
at him. Look at that hairline, huh?
yeah, slick back hair. What is this? 1980?
he's always
Dude,
got
he's-
slick back
He's
hair.
a Trump kid, man. You tell me you wouldn't do that if you're Trump's
Got the
kid?
Pat Riley going.
Yeah,
Look at that guy.
I do not find her that attractive.
No,
I'm
but
sorry.
Way more than this dude would get.
my point is the mismatch.
No, I get your point
Yeah.
totally, but people are like, "Oh my God, it's beautiful." Blah, and I'm like, she's all right. She's okay. Trump's
You know what's
sister.
weird is Mike with superstars. Mike's very picky, but with these regular people, we'll see Mike seems to think they're hot all the time. Like, you know what I mean? If you notice,
No,
with supermodels, Mike's very critical.
No, I'm with Miguel. You do not want to just slap hot on
No,
somebody.
I agree, but I'm saying Mike
willy nilly, as
but-
everybody seems to do.
but it seems like he tends to do that with stories.
You're
that are
talking
regular.
about when we see some random chick in the news, and I'm like,
Yeah.
would you? But I think there's a difference. Like that girl is just your next door neighbor
Oh,
going
God.
to school or going to your church, whatever. These people want you to think they're super
Yeah.
hot.
That's-
They
okay.
they go to pageants, they model,
You're right.
they do and it's like, no, I'm not giving you that. No, I
It's like
understand.
the guy that pulls up next to you in the Lamborghini. I'm not looking
looking.
at that because
I-
you want me to look, and I don't give a shit, man.
I am so glad, Jay, that you subscribe to that
The
belief.
same page.
Because from the earliest memories I have of like, oh, that guy's in a Lamborghini. I caught him
Don't
with a
look,
glint
don't
in my
look.
rearview mirror,
Right.
and it's like, I'll be goddamned. That guy
Fuck
is
him.
absolutely not getting a glance. Not a glance.
Nope.
Not a glance. I don't care if my windows are down, if the top is down on a convertible.
Yeah.
He's not getting a
I'm gonna
glance.
sit here in my Escort GT and just
Yep.
stare straight ahead.
Straight
and be
ahead.
happy with my Escort GT with Dick's
Absolutely.
fag carved in the hood. I don't care.
He's not getting a glance.
I don't even want that Lamborghini. I want
I'm-
my Escort GT.
I'm in my Jeep Wrangler, and I'm not going to look at Mr. Porsche. I'm just not going to do it. Forget it. He's going to have to look somewhere else to get approval.
right.
And that's kind of how I
agree.
feel about these people, where it's like, oh yeah, you're model hot, okay, by someone's standards, but I'm not going to declare that for you.
Well, in that I agree. By the way,
Trump's older sister, the one that's the judge, the federal judge.
Yeah. I just learned that a couple weeks ago. I'm like, no way. I didn't know he had a federal judge sister. Where is she? Do you know?
I think. Let's see, where is
Whatever,
she?
doesn't
I'm not totally sure, dude. She's a federal appeals court judge, Marianne Trump Berry, and she's kind of got Donald's hair.
Oh boy.
You can see, like, you can kind of.
Oh my gosh. Look at her.
I mean, in a weird way.
Yeah.
Can you kind of see?
Kind of wispy in the same way.
Yeah, you see the toad features a little bit
Wow,
too.
yeah. They are toad like.
I
wonder if she'd pee if you picked her up.
so she got
Look at her. Look at that,
boy.
Bruce.
Oh, it's really pronounced there.
What? That picture looks straight out of 1982.
you know what's funny?
Shoulder pads. She's
That hairdo was probably the shit in 1950 when she was
Yeah.
going to sock hops.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And she's just hanging on to it. You know, she's not letting it go.
The
Back
curtains
then-
in the background, everything. Look at how. What is that? Something recent, Kadog? Can you even tell? I don't know. You get something really recent of her if you can. She's a jurist.
Yeah.
Looks like that photo is from 1993, so that is old.
But still, I wouldn't have thought 93.
Yeah, 93. I guess that's a little more acceptable. She discovered the note at her home. Someone had left her a note. She's in Philly. Prompting police to investigate. There was no white powder in her envelope. The threat was similar to the one that was sent to Eric. Police were called to the apartment of Eric, Donald Trump's son, on Thursday after his wife opened the letter and some white powder fell out. So probably some smart ass throwing baking powder or something.
Yeah, in fact, I think it said something like, next time it'll be the real thing.
Yeah. Saying that it was threatening harm to his 5 children, to Trump's 5 children, if he does not pull out of the presidential race. Tests found that there was nothing hazardous. And then Anonymous also released Trump's phone number and Soch number.
All right, there she is, a little bit more updated. That's more acceptable.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Just looking like an old lady. That's cool.
I don't know. I wish these people would just like
let it happen. Let it play out.
Let it play out. Totally. Like all these people that feel the need to disrupt any of these, like you want to go protest, that's your right. Fine. Sit outside, hold your signs and yell at people as they walk past you. But this shut down freeways, send threatening letters to people. It's like, just if you don't like what he's saying, then it'll shake out in the vote. Like that's simple. Don't vote for him. But don't deny everybody their right to hear the message that they want to hear, because
it's millions of people who are liking this guy. So.
Dude, millions and millions. And there are probably an equal number of people that think as much of Hillary Clinton as you do of Donald Trump. That's just the fact. People find her to be a devil woman. Much like much like you find Trump to be Satan himself, they equally feel that way about Hillary. So
I don't find it. By the way, you're not directing that at me. I don't believe he's Satan himself. You're just saying that to the person.
No. I'm saying to the person
protest,
listening to this, to the sounds.
I think he's a clown.
Microphones.
I think he's a clown.
Yeah, but you're not
head
gonna.
To head, I'm voting Trump.
Yeah, right.
I'm voting clown rather than bitch.
You're not going the bitch route.
No.
Anyway, moving on. I know people love hearing us talk about the politics so much. I don't know what Cruz is up to, but anyway, El Chapo.
That little chap.
That son of a bitch. He's having a rough go of it, man. Although prison life, I got to tell you, it's sounding more and more like something I could get behind. I'm just saying, it doesn't sound.
Well, we know they have TVs with cable.
Well, he doesn't right now, which sucks. That's a game changer, dude. I do not want to be sitting in a 6x9 if I don't have a TV.
Well, that's why he wants desperately to go to U.S. prison, right? He wants out of Mexico.
Yeah.
Stat.
He's reading self-help books, and he's put on a few pounds. It's a cheap shot. Why you got to rag on the guy for gaining a few pounds? He's obviously depressed. Leave him be. Really?
Self-help books.
Yeah, he doesn't have a TV. What's he supposed to do? They talked about his tighter security. He's no longer allowed to watch TV, so instead he's turned into books. He's reading a Spanish language version of The Purpose-Driven Life. Wasn't that really big a few years ago, 10 years ago or something?
Yeah, that's awesome. It's all about obviously finding your purpose in life. Like little chaps in there. What could it be?
What is my purpose, man? Guzman is they've got 2 guards standing outside his cell watching him every minute of every day. An official said Guzman has gained a small amount of weight, but he's lowered his blood pressure since he's been taken back to the prison. He also has a dog. He's got a Proops with him at all times. Yes, he has a Proops.
Wouldn't that be better than a TV, Mike, if you had to pick one?
It would be, but
a little buddy?
The Proops has one job. To sample your food before you do to make sure it's not poison. As long as I'm still standing in 15 minutes, feel free to eat, sir. Like that's his only job.
Don't get too attached. Don't get too attached to that Proops because he could drop at any moment.
I think they should flip the roles, man. Let Guzman eat the food, and if he doesn't drop in 15 minutes, then the Poops can enjoy. What did he? I didn't do nothing to nobody. Why am I in here on suicide watch?
Had a guinea pig. I'm a Proops.
In an interview with Borderland Beat, which is a blog that covers narco-related things, the prison's director, Marisa Quintanilla, said inmates are served a variety of nutritious food. What is your definition of nutritious food? What would fall under the category of nutritious food?
A nice chicken breast, some steamed vegetables.
Okay, I thought you were going to say something along those
Yeah.
lines.
What do they got?
Pizza and fried chicken. But that sounds better to me as far as like being in jail or
At least
prison.
it's not Food Loaf or whatever the hell that is, or
Yeah.
Vital Loaf. Or
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I could do fried chicken and pizza though. Before he escaped, Guzman was allowed a 4-hour conjugal visit every 9 days.
4 hours.
4 hours. So he could get it on a few times in that
Wow.
4 hours. And the official said he was supplied with Viagra.
God, yeah, you're right, man. This imprisonment. Man.
Doesn't sound half bad, does
I thought
it?
it was all about deprivation.
Nah.
No?
It's about making our lives easier at this point. So it's
Yeah.
like, getting him hard and letting him bang some skanks a few times.
He won't try to
a
dig
month.
out of his shower and tunnel underground
Yeah.
like a rat.
He hasn't been given Viagra since he was recaptured and returned to prison, and he hasn't received any conjugal visits either. However, he's applied for permission to renew that this week. So he's trying to get back on the list to bring in some bitches. He is under constant observation from a ceiling-mounted camera, which, unlike the last one, this one doesn't have any blind spots. The floors of the prison's top security cells have since been reinforced with 16-inch bed of concrete and a double layer of rebar. I saw what's her name, Kate Del Castillo,
Yeah.
interviewed over the weekend. She did a 2020
Piece of
deal.
ass that got him in trouble.
Yes, and she was totally in for him. She's trying to spin it now, like, oh yeah, I didn't know, and I was saying whatever I needed to say to stay alive and all that. And it's like,
But how can
no,
you tell?
bitch, just because the texts that were, she had no idea that anyone was ever going to see these texts.
Right.
And it was just like something along the lines of like his lawyers or he himself was like, oh, maybe I could help you with this. Remember, she had that tequila company.
Yeah.
And maybe we can help you with that. And she's like, incredible! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation!
Yeah.
You know, like desperate for this guy to. Oh yeah, he's worth billions. Why not throw some money my way to launch my tequila company?
Takes a little, little
Yeah.
this, whatever.
She also didn't know how she would respond if the chap had gone for it on that first night. If he'd tried something,
She'd have done it.
Oh, I
Come
know.
on.
that's
No,
what I think.
I don't
too.
think a second for a second she wouldn't have. Right?
It's the chap.
yeah.
All
you
this
can't deny the
invested.
chap in that moment. You're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
That's
no.
the other thing.
I
The
mean,
money, the fact that he's who he is, the fact that where you are,
Mhm.
not saying no.
Yeah, she's telling a different story than what's his face too.
Sean
Our
Penn.
guy, Sean Penn. Yeah, so I don't know. Not that it matters too much, but I get she's still trying to do this movie about him.
It's like we're still doing that, right?
And the other one, all these fat shaming stories are really, it's just bullshit. There's a new one about Oon. And I gotta be honest, dude.
Uh-oh.
This might be the most severe case of packing on the pounds we've seen. And
Oh man,
yeah,
he's a chubby little fella.
Uh-oh.
that's
Yeah.
beyond
And
chubby.
he's not a
dude.
tall guy, so
No, he's
can-
wee.
oh
The
shit.
double-breasted dictator coat does not help him either.
How did you not react more to that? You're like, yeah, he's a chubby. He's holy
Jay's
shit.
tired, dude. That is humongous. Look at that.
Oh my god, he's a blimp.
Well, remember, he's
Like, he
addicted to
is-
cheese.
Yes, the cheese.
Cheese and Kobe steak, I think.
Like that is a blimp. He looks like the girl from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when she turns into what does she turn into?
Yeah, you're talking about
Veruca Salt.
Veruca Salt.
right. She turns into like a blueberry
No,
or
Violet
something.
Beauregard.
Beauregard. Yeah,
Veruca Salt.
I was.
Yeah, that was the chicken, right?
How is he going to
Laying the egg.
explain? How does he explain this?
Yes. He doesn't.
Cheese, dude. Cheese.
Well, no, but like the world class athlete. I mean, they always just like, 100 hole-in-ones. How can a god have gained this much weight?
Well,
There she is. There she is.
yeah, it's not a bad callback
Yeah.
to Violet Beauregard. He's they say the Kobe steak Cristal, he's drinking bottles of Cristal with every meal, like 2 full bottles
Just
of
drinking
Cristal
Cristal.
and cheese. And they say the cheese, god damn it, if it's not that Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
Swiss has
It's
got him by the
addictive.
balls. He was pictured watching over a military exercise, wearing what you're seeing there, that big coat.
Oh, what a piece of shit! As his people are suffering and starving,
yeah.
this dude's just gluttonous and
Mm-hmm.
gross and idiotic.
The pictures are a noticeable difference, they say, to his relatively
Yeah.
lean early years in power following the death of his old
I don't
man.
know that we could ever say lean. He always had like 4 chins.
Yeah, but when you look at pictures
But-
of him compared to that, oof. And I don't want to take shots at him. I hope he identifies as thin. For his sake, I really hope he identifies as thin because this would be tough otherwise. The number of hungry people in North Korea has
Oh,
more than
jeez.
doubled in the last 2 decades, rising to 10.5 million in 2014, up from 4.8 million in 1990. Kenji Fujimoto, who was a personal chef for Kim Jong-il for 13 years, says he is a wrong-rubbed fine food. I used to make the General Jong-il at least once a week, and he would make him sushi, and Kim Jong-un would join him. So what a breaking news story. Kim Jong-un likes sushi. Wow. Really?
Right.
I'm shocked by that. See, you look at that dude.
Yeah, look at the. I mean, he was never thin though.
No, but
No, but comparatively,
Yeah,
yeah, he drank a lot, and yeah, he also smokes a ton, which
he's
That-
just
that
a
could
little
end
ruler,
well.
man.
Dude,
You know, he's like a
imagine
little
that.
medieval king.
How old is he? 33 now?
Yeah, something like that. Just like off with his head. I mean, this is like medieval shit, man.
Yeah. Wonder what he's directing here too. And plus,
I know, right?
like even in a case like that, like usually you go to your friends and go, does this do I look like I've put on a few pounds? Like, what are they supposed to? No, absolutely not. You look fantastic.
Whoa, do you have a 6-pack there?
I mean, every day guys are walking in, rolling their eyes, just like, oh, did you lose weight last night? You look great. sir."
Damn, your workout regimen is really working.
Yeah, he'll whip an anti-aircraft missile at him if they
Oh,
say
yeah.
something like that.
From 25 yards. Wow, what a way to go. It's kind of an awesome way to go, really. I mean, it'd be the lead up to it.
Right.
You'd be playing it out in your head so
Oh.
much, like, oh, this is going to be so awful.
But
Like,
it's,
you'd work
it's
yourself up.
smithereens.
It is. You'd work yourself up into a sweat and get all worked up
It'd be
about
a
it. but
fast. It'd be very fast.
It would.
Fast and efficient.
I wonder if you'd hear or see anything
I know.
before
I was just thinking that.
total annihilation.
Would it just be they'd hold the gun and then you'd just be dead? You're
Yeah,
right.
you
Would it
probably
be-
see just an instantaneous flash at the end of that muzzle.
and then
then-
boom, you'd be done.
But there is no holding the gun. This is a common misconception. This was an anti-aircraft missile that was
I know,
attached to the back of
Yeah,
a tank.
There's no person.
There's
I
no
get-
person holding this up.
I understand that. I'm just saying, I don't know. You're right. Would you just see a flash of light and just boom?
Well, they often say like if you get beheaded, that your head will bounce around.
I
and
think
you'll,
that's
like,
a little different than this, though.
well, that's what I mean. Would you have some instant where you see a flash of a muzzle, or would it just all just? Yeah, I don't know. It'd be better than being fed to the dogs.
Yes.
Ah, you're right. That
You know what I
uncle
mean?
that he fed to the dog.
Hell yeah.
Hey, are you moving and live far away from Radio for One Studios but want to support the Detroit Gas? Call Krista Jelski of Remax Suburban, and she will refer you to an excellent realtor in your area anywhere in the country. Check out Krista's website at kristasellshouses.com or call her anytime at 586-918-0900 for more details.
Other news over the weekend while we were off is the Hulk Hogan
Yeah.
Gawker trial.
Yeah, we were kind of
Wow.
speculating, like, given what Erin Andrews got through her invasion of privacy thing, we were kind of like, but Hogan will get ganked. He'll probably get like $2 million at the most or something. Oh my
Yeah.
God, did he break the bank?
Dude, $115 million
Oh shit!
he got in a judgment.
That asshole. wearing
Gawker.
his-
It was easy to be sympathetic to Erin Andrews, at least in my opinion. She was a sympathetic character. She was a cute woman, first off, not someone who had boasted about her sexual escapades on the likes of Howard Stern and other media outlets. So it was easy to rally behind her as just this innocent girl victim, totally. With this one, it made it it just had a different hint to it, a different feel to it. Like,
Yeah, for most people, the notion of banging your buddy's wife is disgusting, and so you have that part of it,
mhm.
and then you've just got him. I don't know how many people have a real positive perception of him. I guess.
Well, over those racial issues that
I
came up,
forgot about
remember that?
that,
That was
yeah.
like a year ago
Yeah.
or something when his daughter wrote that beautiful, moving poem about him
That's right.
in his yellow boots. Remember that?
When he slammed the giant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing was brutal.
No, so the point is, he's not as great, probably a witness as Aaron Andrews, although I didn't see him testify. He's not as sympathetic a witness.
He cried.
Yeah.
I imagine
Good
he'd
for
be
Terry.
he'd be a better witness than most because he's used to public speaking,
Acting.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a tough one, because it's hard to rally behind a site like Gawker.
Right.
It's like, who's the asshole, the homo in LA that had the site?
Oh, Perez Hilton.
Perez Hilton. It's like rallying behind Perez Hilton. It's like, really? I mean, you're going to go on a free speech campaign for Perez Hilton to draw dicks and cum on people's faces? Like, it's not something you want to jump behind and rally the team
But
for.
that's what's funny about the First Amendment we touched on it a moment ago about the KKK. You've got to respect both sides of it,
Yeah, but this doesn't seem like First Amendment to me.
That was the argument they were trying to make.
Yeah.
You're right. It's like a freaking gossip website that wants to throw up this video of him banging this chick and then leave it up despite his protestations and just continue to show
and throw it in people's faces. I've never, I understand the drive to talk about celebrities or see them in movies and hold them up to this special platform. I'm not dumb to the game and why people are attracted to that. But I've never liked the idea of these people not being able to walk out of their house without 30 assholes with extended lenses following them as they go get coffee. Like, to me, it's such an invasion. It's so over the top, hiding in trees. Imagine if there was some dickhead in a tree up here with a long lens, snapping weird, blurry photos of us doing this show. Like, you'd feel like a total invasion.
Yeah.
It feels so over the top and
But I
not
guess as
necessary.
an American celebrity, though, you know the landscape and you know what you're getting into.
Yeah, but how far does it go?
And that's what this lawsuit kind of says. Like, hey, that's over the line.
And I wouldn't have thought it would come to something like this. You would have thought Princess Diana, of all people, would have had a much stronger
chilling effect.
Yeah, attack on the whole paparazzi.
No, until everybody out there stops giving a shit about these people, they'll keep doing it because they sell it for how many hundreds of thousands of dollars sometimes for the first picture of so-and-so's baby. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I've never given a shit about something like that.
But the magazine will pay for it because the magazine will sell.
Yep. Nick Denton is the guy that started Gawker, and they're talking about that whole company folding now.
Yeah, I can't believe. Who knows? Some of those internet sites and stuff you're really surprised about the value of, and then others you hear not so much. I don't know Gawker enough to say, oh, they could withstand 115, but that certainly seems very, very high for something like that to withstand. Although I know they are affiliated in some way to Deadspin and all that. They're somehow part of
Gizmodo or Gizmodo, Deadspin. These are all, there's like 9 of them.
Yeah.
There's the chick one.
They're sort of all, they feed each other.
Mm-hmm. So it really was about Denton and AJ Delario, who was a former Gawker editor, and he's the one that they had together published this video and refused to take it down. Denton's refusal to do so now stands as a fateful decision that could determine whether the publisher goes down as both the creator and destroyer of Gawker Media. If the judge in the case imposes a $50 million bond on Gawker, which its representatives say it cannot pay, the site and its 9 ancillary publications could quickly collapse. So why would you need a $50 million?
Gawker.com, Deadspin, Lifehacker, Gizmodo. What does that say?
Kotaku,
Jalopnik, and Jezebel. Yeah,
Jezebel was the one I was
definitely heard of a lot of those.
Why would they need a $50 million bond on Gawker? Why would a judge impose a $50 million bond? Like, just as an example, I don't expect you to know in this specific thing, but
yeah, in order to appeal.
yeah,
because they want to make sure that shit, man, I'm blanking.
Yeah, when I think of bond, I think
all the time.
You're worried about someone going on the lam. You're worried about someone taking off, and so you put a high bond on them, so that they, as incentive not to take off, and then they lose that bond if they break that deal and get caught in a foreign country where they're not supposed to be, and you lose the $5 million that was put up or whatever.
I think it's somewhat the same principle. You're having to put it up so that you're not then dealing with the money elsewhere while you appeal that.
Okay. Oh, trying to like unload it somewhere else, so it's kind of in a holding cell. Yeah. Okay, all right, that at least makes sense. Hogan, I guess, settled with what's his name, Bubba the Love Sponge, for like $5,000.
What?
Yeah. And there are reports out there that they were teamed up together to do this. Like,
well,
I don't know.
Yeah,
if
there's that
believe
piece of it too. You know, it's just there's a lot of smoke to this thing that's ugly.
They say that Denton's vocal adamance made clear that he was out of step with public sentiment long before the Hogan case came to court, advocating a philosophy of extreme openness, which he applied to Gawker's editorial choices. The site has arguably stepped over the line repeatedly in 2012. They've been accused of outing gay people for years, which I think is bullshit too. You know, that there are certain decisions in life that should be left. I don't give a shit if you're a celebrity or not. There are certain things that are no fucking business of someone like Gawker's. And I think it's bullshit that they would, oh yeah, we're all about openness. Well, go start your website and be as open about yourself as you want, dickhead. What is outing Anderson Cooper or someone else? I guess they outed someone at CNN in 2013. I don't know who else is out besides Anderson Cooper, but I thought he came out before 2013. And some they published a string of articles about the private life of a Fox News anchor. They exposed an affair involving a married media executive from a rival firm. They've been accused of gay shaming for years. The public has seen the damage the online speech can do and is getting sick of the media becoming very pro-privacy, said Samantha Barbas, a law professor at the University of Buffalo. The public is becoming disenchanted with freedom of speech, and this verdict is a reflection of that. I don't know that it's free speech that I'm disenchanted with. It's the invasion of privacy that I have a problem with. But
what's the pushback on the argument that they made? Oh, it's just free speech. We're just trying to. He's put his sexual, his sex life at issue by being a celebrity and being out there talking about it, and so we have every right to talk about it ourselves and put it out there. There's new laws prohibiting things like revenge porn, which is another abhorrent thing that you see when some asshole breaks up with a girlfriend and is too big of a pussy to just deal with the fact that some chick dumped him and is going to go shame her by posting all of her nude pictures or any video that she gave him over the relationship, some asswipe doing this. And there are laws prohibiting that kind of stuff now. But, because the fact is, once that gets put out there, the damage is done. It's over. There's no reeling that back in. Pretty hard to scrub it.
Yeah. And there's growing calls for the right to be forgotten people that just want to, like, dude, I dabbled in this shit a little bit, or in Facebook, and I want to delete my profile and be anonymous again. The Erin Andrews one, obviously she was awarded $55 million last week. And so they're pointing to different cases of like the public sentiment shifting on some of this stuff. The awarding of $55 million to Erin Andrews. Last week, a Pennsylvania man pled guilty to and now faces 5 years in prison for the celebrity nude dump that he did, which gave us
the roast beef and
the roast beef,
Verlander's dick.
Oh, that's right, his was mixed up in that. Jennifer Lawrence was we saw the Jennifer Lawrence
pretty
pics
rough
at times, and then you could tell when she got famous and dolled things up a little bit too. But Hope Solo, that tragic incident,
that was tragic,
dude. I cannot look at her.
No, I can't eat roast beef.
You can't even eat roast beast, but I can't look at her. When I see like a still picture of her on the field, like as a commanding general on the pitch.
Yeah. Frankly, though, if you had to, gun to your head, describe what it probably looked like had you not seen the roast beef explosion, you wouldn't have probably described a fine-looking vagine, right? Would you?
I would have gone closer to hairline fracture than I would have Arby's. Seriously. I mean,
yeah, no one could have expected what came of that.
No.
Oh, jeez.
There it is.
That's not even it.
That's an actual roast beef sandwich, but it looks eerily similar to what we saw with Ms. Solo. Unfortunate as it was.
Solo.
Denton, of course, is saying he's going to appeal. Regardless of any appeals outcome, Denton may have inadvertently ushered in a second phase in the way the media operates. The first came with the founding of Gawker and the Perez Hiltons of the world, which just focused on, we're just going to shit on celebrities and media moguls and all that kind of stuff. Hogan's legal team said as much in a statement, calling the verdict a statement as to the public's disgust with the invasion of privacy disguised as journalism. Courts, they say, have long grappled with the question of what defines a newsworthy story and what constitutes legit public concern. It's something we're struggling with, and that's kind of what the Hulk Hogan verdict was about. Even someone who makes sex part of their public persona deserves a right to privacy in their own intimate lives.
It's so fact specific, though. It's like, where do you draw the line? You know, they're in a tough business, these businesses of gossip, because this has to give you some sort of pause, but you can certainly talk about X and Y, but not Z anymore, right? Or is Y off the table too? It's just hard to say what this means.
Do you see a difference in the Hogan one versus Erin Andrews, where in both cases you have celebrity nude, and you can kind of lean on the, hey, they're celebrities, public interest story. Do you see a difference in those two stories where one is obviously has no idea what's going on? Well, both of them didn't know they were being filmed, according to them.
Yeah, but it's as we described in the lead up to the story. There are pieces to the facts of the Hogan thing that make you go, this guy, he's banging his buddy's wife. And not to say that it's right to film him surreptitiously and then post it, but he's less sympathetic a victim to me.
Oh,
but
there's no doubt
ironically, he gets double the damages, or at least the verdict,
which seems,
again, there's
he's a man.
huge question as to what he'll ever recover.
Yeah, men are always paid more than women. Come on, Jake.
I mean,
equal pay. It's a big issue in the campaign this year.
I think they were both pretty lousy. I'm trying to remember. It was so many years ago, 2006 or something, when the Hogan one came out. But
yeah, I think around
it
there.
didn't paint him in a good light, but it was worse for Erin Andrews. The butt flex. It's all about the butt flexes. It really is.
But then it's indisputable though that her she was on an upward trajectory.
I know.
She's where she is in part because of that. Sorry, she is.
Yeah.
But the question is, would she trade that for that notoriety? And it sounds like, if you believe her on the stand, she would not.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting.
I don't know. It's all a moving target, though. These things will just continue to have to get hashed out and settled or go to a verdict. And
this will be
in order to have any sort of brighter line, because it's like, okay, that's one, stake. We know you can't do that.
Yeah. Doesn't that kind of set some new
less?
precedent with these sex tapes? I mean, you would think people would be pointing to the Hogan one.
Well, that's why I think this was out of the ordinary, because they just kept it up there despite his protestation. Whereas a lot of these sites will take it down and settle with
behind the
them.
scenes.
Yeah, they'll be like, all right, look, we'll
give you $10 million, which
thing's
they did
going to be
with
out
Pam and
anymore
Tommy.
anyway. Right? Pam and Tommy kind of set that whole thing up, or that was what set the precedent on that.
Yeah,
like, look, it's going to be out there anyway. Do you want $10 million or not?
Yeah. Which a lot of those people did, but then it gets into a whole game of, who's doing this?
Are they just leaking it to make their 10 million?
Yeah. It's a tough one. I wonder how much of it came down to the fact that he claims he didn't know he was being filmed. How important that fact is, because if you believe that, then he's the same level of victim, almost, you can argue, as Erin Andrews.
Yeah.
I was banging this chick. It wasn't something, we were all adults, all a part of this, but no, I did not know there were hidden cameras in this room and I was being filmed.
Right.
So I don't know if it was just something where, we filmed some sex and we knew it was being filmed, and it's the chance you take that.
I think you're right. That's probably a very important fact.
Anyway, why don't we take a quick break? We haven't even mentioned and we won't spend too much time on it, but the Russian pilots.
Oof. Brutal crash.
Yeah. I know it's a long way away, but 62 lives are no longer with
human
us.
beings.
Mm-hmm. And then we've got wanted to say happy World Down Syndrome Day. If you're listening on Monday, it's World Down Syndrome Day. It's one of your favorite syndromes, Jay.
It's my very favorite.
Yeah. And we got some controversy a little bit over this new commercial that's running as part of the campaign to promote that, I guess. But anyway, if anyone's out there celebrating World Down Syndrome Day, we had St. Patrick's Day last week, so a lot of parties going on. Anyway, we'll take a quick time out. We'll be right back.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey, it's Steve Gabarra from Zott Ford and Holly, the only dealership offering 2 for $252. Right now at Zott Ford, you get 2 brand new 16 Ford F-150 4x4 Super Cabs for just $252 with 1,000 due. That's 2 trucks for just one payment of $252. I'll say it again, lease 2 F-150s for just one payment of $252 per month. Hurry to Zott Ford and Holly, home of the 2 for $252, because leasing 2 trucks for the price of one can't last long.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
He's got AIDS.
Don't give him those AIDS.
And when he had those AIDS, I went to my synagogue and I prayed for him.
Wonder how big Magic Johnson's taken the devastating loss. I know he's been
What
memed
has
a
he
lot.
done? Can you tell me? Big Magic Johnson, what has he done?
God, that's got to be so confusing to people that are on Magic Johnson's Twitter account. Has to be. All these assholes from Detroit. What has he done? Can you tell me?
I love the idea of people getting pissed and going, "What are you talking about? What he's done? He won an NCAA championship. He won how many?
He won 5 NBA titles.
Yeah, he's MVP. He was an all-star.
What have you done?" I'm trying to compare resumes with Magic Johnson.
Whoever posted is just in there.
Social media is so funny, man. The last week, towards the end of the week, I can't remember which day, we did the story on those students out of Grosse Pointe High South, I believe.
Yeah,
to be exact, Grosse Pointe South, who had the N-word written on their stomachs, and we didn't know. It was a blurred picture of their faces, and they kind of blurred out the words too. So we at the time the story first dropped, we didn't know if it, like, one girl had NI on her stomach, the next one had GG.
not that it makes it any better.
No, not that it does, but we just didn't know.
We didn't know the full nature of this thing.
It turns out that they each had. She's got the N-word written. She's got the N-word written, and this one, you can see the heart there. It says, "I love N-words."
Well,
is written on that stomach. And if you remember, I think we were like, well, seeing which one would you? I mean, we were looking at
we see exposed midriffs.
Yeah,
and you know how E reacts to
yeah, but
young ladies.
I still can't believe. I'm not kidding. I'm shocked that you guys thought what you're about to say.
Well, I was looking at it, and honestly, when I first saw the picture, I was like, I'd probably do this one first. Like, it was it was the leanest one, the stomach. It looked the tannest.
In fairness, Mike, we really didn't overly scrutinize this photo.
No, we
didn't go through the ringer like it usually does. It was just some brief commentary. But you were sent an unedited version of this photo.
Someone tweeted him. He was like, so which one again would you be? Which one would you do?
The dude with the slender stomach.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You can imagine my horror when I realized the one that I think I'm pretty sure I picked based on stomach toneness and color. I would have chosen the dude.
In your defense, Mike, I mean, that midriff is very feminine.
I mean, hip to waist ratio is very feminine, correct?
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
He says he was tipped off by the boxers immediately.
No, not just that, and just in general. I honestly remember looking at it. I didn't read the article, so I guess you guys said how it was worded. It was read confusingly.
You just assumed that was a dude?
Yeah, when I looked at the image, because I was trying to find.
But yet you still picked that one to bang.
Not true. Not true.
Well, E would have a keener eye for spotting, male anatomy than we
the
would.
gaydar we've all heard about.
Yeah, I mean, so it shouldn't shock anyone in the room that E was like, "Oh yes, that's a dude."
Well, I'm not the one who picked the dude that I want to have sex with.
The other thing is, in my defense, he's pulled up his shirt as if to hide titties.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you'd picture a guy, like, you understand why the girls would just show their midriff, but the guy, he would just take his shirt off.
It's very defensible, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
It really is.
Of course.
Seriously,
you take off that
so.
thing's head and you glance. Again, we didn't overly scrutinize. We did not break this down like we usually do.
And the way the story was written, lastly, in my defense, I don't mean this to appear too defensive about
in your
it.
defense to me.
It said 3 had the racial slur written across their stomachs, while a 4th girl had "I heart weed" written across her knee. I specifically remember that comment or that statement, and it was like, okay, so the 3 girls had the racial slur, and the 4th girl had "I heart weed."
Right.
So it was a setup. I feel like I was walked into that unknowingly.
Poorly written.
I want to take that off the table. That in fact is the one I would do first.
You know, it reminds
take that
me
right off the table now.
My sweet mate Patty Cakes, who I've referenced a couple times before at
guy.
Western, my freshman year at Western. Pat lived next door, and he would often saunter over and.
So what, you guys share a bathroom?
Yeah. You know, when I was gone for the weekend, he'd bang his girlfriend in my bed and then tell me about it like 3 months later. It was is great.
Yeah, great guy.
Good guy. He was
Good dude.
also the guy who would go down to the
The corn
cafeteria
dogs.
and watch Corn Dog Day.
Yeah,
Awesome.
just watch
That's
chicks
awesome
eat
to
corn
me.
dogs.
Like,
yeah,
let's go. It's Corn Dog Day.
I would not have been interested in doing it, not because of what he was doing it, but if I had known that person, I think I would have gone down with him at least once to do it.
Yeah, he just sat in the corner,
Like-
grabbed a couple drinks. You know, those little I don't know, 6 ounce.
Right. Plastic cups?
No,
probably,
those
or no?
glass things.
Okay.
You know, anybody who
Yeah.
lives in a dorm knows these glass. You have to like throw 8 of them on your tray to actually have anything usable at dinner. But he'd set those down and just sit back and watch, man.
What were you gonna say about
No,
him?
but yeah. So this thing reminds me of. He was telling me a story that he was a porn connoisseur and he's watching this guy just give it up an ass, you know, and he's just pounding.
He's watching
this
some guy
ass.
just drilling an ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's pounding this ass. And he's like, wow, that ass is kind of hot. And then the camera panned around. It's a dude. But hey, you know what? If that's what
Yeah,
Patty
he got
gets turned
stung.
on by,
that's what he was turned by. Yeah,
Huh.
he was technically looking at a dude's ass. In his defense, he didn't know. No, the beauty of patty cakes is that he wasn't like, it'd be one thing like you all knew, and I was probably that guy that would go out of his way to be funny or make a moment funny, do something outlandish, say something over the line, set up like, I know my sweet mate's going to be coming home any minute. Wait till he walks in and he sees my butthole waiting at the door for him. Typical shit guys would do to be funny. Patty Cakes, I don't even think he knew he was funny. Like, he wasn't trying to be funny. He just
no, Cakes was naturally eccentric, and that was just him, man.
yeah. Like to walk in, and we talked about before when he'd have this head of hair. It was normal one day you'd see him, and then it'd be slicked back, and he'd just be sitting there on the beanbag by himself watching a Steven Seagal marathon.
Yeah,
and you're just like, he wasn't expecting anyone to walk in. That's just how he was
slicked his
spending
hair
his
back.
evening.
Son of a bitch.
I'm going. We're doing Seagal night.
We gotta try Cakes at some point. I have no idea where he is, but we gotta look that dude up.
Yeah, he's got to be around somewhere.
Gotta try contacting him.
Yeah. He went to a different school than I mean, I met him through you, through
and I went there
Western.
my freshman year, and then pretty much lost touch with him. You know, a little bit of contact after I think he was an accountant at some point.
Yeah.
We'll be able to find him.
Yeah, we're gonna need to find him for sure. He's the one, just to put a wraps on patty cakes, is the guy that got into it with the football player, right?
Yeah.
At
So the quarterback of the football team, he wasn't at the time, but he was the up and coming guy on the football team, lived on the other wall of me. And so he'd all the time be over dicking with us all and drinking and stuff. And he took patty cakes by the scruff of the neck one day and by the belt and just rubbed him across the carpet. And I just remember seeing that carpet burn going from forehead to the tip of the nose. What are you doing, man?
Patty Cakes was such an unassuming little dude too. He wasn't like a big guy. Like the idea of this.
No, Jay just
player,
had this whim. He's like, I'm just gonna rub this guy across. Just did it.
probably not the first time he's done that.
Oh,
Yeah, we've got to get a hold of patty cakes.
Man.
The plane crash in Russia.
is it a Dubai?
Yeah,
flight?
Fly Dubai is the name of the plane. 62 people died. Some more details have come out. It sounds like turbulence, some sort of weather
Oh
issue.
yeah, man, massive winds, right? And the guy circled for a couple hours, I think, trying to
Trying to put her down.
find the best opportunity, the best window to do so. They were running low on fuel, I think. and
Yeah.
I almost said running a little low on fluids.
That happens. It happens. What are you going to do? Sometimes you run a little on fluids. That's what I'm saying. I think there were numerous planes that had that problem that tried to put it down. There was one plane, in fact, that tried to land 3 times and then was like, fuck it, I'm out of here, and went to another airport. It was like, I'll put it down somewhere else. We just can't do it here. The one pilot, the news this evening is Aristos Socrates. He was the captain of the jet. And I'm sure I'm butchering his name. I apologize to his family. He was on his final flight into.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Did they ever
absolutely.
hear
I
this
meant that.
podcast?
Sure.
Yeah, where's he from? Cyprus or some crap?
Yeah, I believe he is. He's. I think you're right. He was on the final flight from Fly Dubai and was expecting his first child. He died alongside his first officer, Alejandro Alava from Spain, whose wife was carrying twins.
Oof.
Yeah. So, Cyprus is where the Socrates dude is from. He was at the controls of the Boeing 737 when it crashed just short of the runway in Russia. He was due to join Ryanair and move to Ireland along with his pregnant wife. Investigators have released images now of the plane's badly damaged black boxes, which of course are orange boxes, but which could provide some clues as to why it went down. The group is set to consider two possibilities. Either the crash was caused by pilot error in poor weather conditions or was mechanical. If it was a mechanical issue. Both boxes are badly damaged in the crash, resulting because of the crash and the resulting fireball, which claimed all the lives on board.
Yeah, everything I heard over the weekend, it sounded like they were just saying the pilots were disoriented coming in and just thought that they were about to hit the landing strip, and in fact they were, what'd you say, 80 meters short or something?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so that's what all indications showed over the weekend, but I guess there's some new information or some new video that might suggest there was a fire prior.
Yeah, there's differing schools of thought on that, and we've got the video here, so we'll be able to judge for ourselves what we think. But it's closed circuit images, so they're not going to be full color HD video of it.
I'm disoriented. What are we looking at?
We're looking at a runway
That's way
cam.
in the distance. That's the fireball right there. Or are those just lights? Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, you want to check out the video?
Oh yeah, it definitely looks like some. Well, I don't know.
Yeah. People are like, oh, it's obviously in flames as it's coming down. I guess there's some special clouds that are a real problem. Our pilot friends could tell us about this. I can't remember the name of them, but there's some clouds that will just take a plane and drop it hundreds of feet. Yeah, they're brutal. These certain types of cloud.
Could that have just been lights we were seeing, like as it's gone through the haze and things? And again, shitty closed circuit camera. But
aviation experts have suggested the fire is more than likely the aircraft's landing lights, which would have been on at the time of the disaster. So a lot of people, and of course
everybody wants to believe it's something that, it doesn't seem, it can't be what it truly seems to be. There must be some terrorism or something,
a bomb.
But in fact, it's likely just pilot error.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's tough, man. Especially with the first officer with twins on the way and the pilot with a kid on the way. Brutal story. As I mentioned, as we were coming into the break, World Down Syndrome Day is Monday.
Happy World Down Syndrome Day.
Absolutely.
Mike.
Absolutely. I know it's your favorite syndrome of all the syndromes in the world, and there are a lot of syndromes.
I'm on record.
Yep. We've talked about some of mine. Toxic shock, for instance, one of my all-time favorites. I've always been a fan of SIDS. AIDS is up there as far as syndromes go. My Prader-Willis.
He's got AIDS.
My POTS syndrome. There's lots of them out there, and tops of your list is Downs. And you've been on record for a couple of years now saying that. And so, want to say congratulations or happy World Down Syndrome Day, everybody. Yeah. They've got a new commercial out, by the way, starring none other than Olivia Wilde. And I don't know.
Jason Sudeikis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It sparked a lot of discussion.
Is that his girlfriend or is that his wife?
It's his wife now.
Okay.
I think
Maybe
it's his wife. They have a kid now, and they want to have another kid, but I don't know. I thought they were married. Are they married? Or they're just partners? Okay.
Partners. Just partners.
Anyway, you want to see her new commercial. It's a video. It's titled "How Do You See Me?" and promotes the hashtag How Do You See Me. It was made by Italian Down syndrome organization Coor Down, COOR Down.
Okay.
It follows Wilde engaging in a range of different activities as the narrator, named Anna Rubright, who has the Downs, explains how she views herself. So here's the commercial that everybody's talking about. It's kind of long too.
This is how I see myself. I see myself as a daughter.
So there's Olivia Wilde with a family.
She sees herself as Olivia.
Mm-hmm.
As a person you can rely on.
It's a person you can rely on.
I see myself meeting someone that I can share my life with.
Someone I can share my life with.
I see myself singing, dancing, and laughing until I cannot breathe.
Olivia crying.
and also crying sometimes. I see myself following my dreams,
Got a nice shot there.
Yeah.
even if they are impossible. Especially because they're impossible. I see myself as an ordinary person with an important, meaningful, beautiful life.
Wonderful, beautiful life. It's a long commercial.
This is how I see myself.
So that she's looking in the mirror. She sees Olivia Wilde, and then the camera pans.
How do you see me?
Oh, I've seen her before. Yeah.
Yeah.
What role,
I mean,
Jay?
We're
You
talking
mean
about-
Olivia in her movies?
No,
Or
the narrator. I definitely have seen her somewhere.
you have? I don't.
I didn't recognize her.
Yeah, Anna Rubright. I feel like I've seen her before too. I don't know what
just
she's
like,
starting.
God, I
Which
can't place it.
Oh,
I
you've
can't-
seen her at Kroger.
she was she was on the runway for a
Oh,
fashion week in New York, wasn't she?
Oh, yeah.
Some right.
Bagging. Yeah, she was. I think
I think was that. Yeah, that was him. Her.
it's her doppelganger, if not
Right.
spitting image.
Some have said the emotional video is positive for the Downs community, while others have said it's an example of ableism.
Ableism.
Yeah.
The hell does that mean?
My name is Mike. I suffer from ableism. Ableism, you know. I mean,
No,
yeah.
explain, please.
It's defined as discriminatory towards those with disabilities.
Oh my gosh.
Is it ableism?
You're an ableist, or is that like you're
I'm assuming like the fact
Right,
that I'm
disabled versus able.
So you're an ableist? You ableist, right?
Yeah.
Like a racist ableist?
totally. Are they trying to sneak in a new thing on us?
Yes, I never heard of
Ableism?
that shit.
I suffer from ableism. I've suffered from ableism almost my entire life.
Define it again.
It's discriminatory towards those with disabilities. Actually, I don't feel like I suffer from ableism.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Mike,
Is
you're
this-
a monster.
Does like doing the discussion we just had mean that I'm an ableist?
No,
No?
means we're just having fun.
Like if one passes me in the mall, I don't go, ew.
One.
Yeah.
One of those.
One of those people. Yeah, but
So people are criticizing that, saying it's
Yes.
directly the opposite. Why? What?
Kim Souder.
Nothing can be good, you know.
Yeah.
It's like
Everybody's got a bitch about something.
I thought it was a beautiful commercial, actually.
Yeah. What's
thought-
wrong with that?
Kim Souder, a disability rights activist with, she's got a touch of the palsy herself. Cerebral, your
My favorite palsy. This is a great story. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, she's also got a touch of the autism. She's got a bit of Big E in her as well. So she's got palsy and autism. She wrote a blog that she felt the video suggests that people with Downs should want to be Olivia Wilde rather than themselves.
Everything's got to just be.
From a larger
So
standpoint,
not the point of that.
You
she's
can't just
she's
try to
seeing
help.
herself as normal. She's accepting herself as in the
And saying that
world.
other
and
people should
I
see-
can do whatever,
Right.
you know?
Dude.
That is so the point of that.
I mean, look where you're special person read it another way.
Drew a different conclusion.
From a larger standpoint, and I won't do the voice. I could do the voice here, but I'm not going to do the voice. From a larger standpoint, it says that look at you guys looking at me like I'm going to do the voice.
Jerry from Facts of Life. Go.
From a larger standpoint, it says that disabled people generally see themselves as not being disabled.
Oh boy.
Well put.
It is unfortunate that the producers of this video felt that it would be more effective to have a non-disabled celebrity play out the life and dreams of someone with DS.
Oh jeez.
Besides completely missing the mark on their stated intentions, the people who produced this video lost the opportunity to model how acceptance and inclusion can look. Inclusion can look. Quote, end quote. Yeah.
No, he's right. Everybody just has to bitch. Come on.
I'm gonna apologize for that last bit. I wasn't planning to go there. I feel like I folded to peer pressure in the moment.
I think
I'll
put
be
it
honest
in
with you.
proper context.
Well, I wanted
That's
to.
what we try to do. We try to deliver the news as it is.
Yes, and that was delivered That's how Kim.
We're not going to
probably would've said
sugarcoat it.
Yeah, right.
Put it in a different context.
Right. Yeah, that's clearly not what the message of that commercial was, and people getting bent out of shape. Social media fucking sucks, man. It's turned the news into three people on Facebook declared.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
It's too much.
Hey.
Too much. It's also making stories like this happen where
oh no.
What? Kids for sale post. Did you see this one?
Yes.
It's a disturbing photo. It showed up on Facebook over the weekend. It's because police and other law enforcement agencies who have nothing better to do than deal with something like this in Memphis, Tennessee, to launch an investigation. The photo shows 2 young children with duct tape tied around their hands and on their mouths. The person who posted the picture, I'll just tell you what her name is, and you can tell me if it's real or not. Jayton Just Silly Jelbabi. And by Just Silly, Justilly.
That surname is derived from come on. Just Silly?
Just Silly. I'd say it's impossible that that's a real name, but I know better.
I think it's Just Silly.
It is Just Silly. Well, yes. It appears to be that appears to be the children's mother, but that has not been confirmed. She has since deactivated her account. So she posts this picture and writes, "Kids for sale, 45% off because they bad."
Could this all just be a big joke?
Well, first off,
even if it is, Jay, that's not funny.
Just declare
even
yourself
if it
as
is.
Just Silly.
45% off of what? You can't just
of the market price.
What's the market value for
Sticker
2
price.
half-used children? I mean, what do those go for? I mean, you're
Some people
declaring
pay decent
half
amount
off
of
$1 million, half off 50 cents. What are we talking about? Yeah, they blurred them out. So the Memphis Police Department was sent the photo, of course, and they immediately opened an investigation. Other departments are also investigating. Children's Services, Department of Children's Services, they're going to do more research before launching an investigation. Facebook users, of course, are using this as a platform to talk about how outraged they are and how they'd be much better parents. And these children need to be yanked from this family immediately. The Darian King, who is the woman's cousin, did a post himself after this was after her thing came down, her Facebook. It was just a practical joke. I don't really too much care about the people. They have opinions. Our family and friends know the love we have for all the kids in our family. It's just crazy that out of a whole lifetime, they judge a person off this one event. Basically a joke at the moment that people just went overboard about. People make mistakes, and that's what this situation is, a lesson learned. They are safe, unharmed, and loved, and that's all there is to it.
Is there anything disturbing about, even if it is a total joke, throwing duct tape over little kids' mouths like that and taping up their hands?
Yeah, there is.
Even for a moment?
Yeah, sure there is. And I can totally see that. But I can also, the odds and likelihood that this is a serious type thing that needs to be investigated by local authorities. And I understand authorities get a call and they, talk about blood on your hands. If you went, that's a joke, and you don't investigate it, and then these kids end up on the black market somewhere, and they're sold into slavery or something. But it's just, it's kind of funny to me. I see the joke in that, obviously, but I can understand where people would be sort of outraged.
Gotta at least check it.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, the Amazon link on DetroitCast.com. There you will find a link to Amazon. Everybody shops on Amazon. Everybody knows by now. We've got a link there. You shop through our portal. We get a bit of a kickback. It's a great way to donate to the show without writing a check. So just shop as you normally do.
Please
and
do.
We see some fruits of that. So appreciate everybody who's done that. Appreciate everybody who's donated through the donate link too. So
yeah, it's been very helpful. Now, one of these that I think we can draw a bright line on that I think is much easier to declare whether or not someone's being a shitty parent is this one. A mother, she's in jail now, so her kids are okay, from Glen Rose, Texas, Tasha Hatcher. She's accusing of putting her 2-year-old in the oven.
No.
Are you saying we have a bright line pro or against?
I think we're against this, right?
Okay.
I I don't even think we needed to
I'm
do
on
a show
record
of
against
hands.
it. That's always been something that freaked me out about that Hansel and Gretel story. The whole witch throwing him in the oven, man.
know.
Something about a witch throwing you in the oven.
Yeah, it's brutal. I guess the kid was left with third-degree burns following this this act. Cops arrived at the home, and witnesses said she put the kid in the oven. I know that the kid's still in the hospital. It is sedated, but it's believed to be in stable condition. But they haven't said whether it's a boy or girl. They haven't named anything, so they're just calling it, or I'm calling it. It poops.
It's like a girl right there.
She looks very fair-skinned. She would not fare well in an oven.
Boy.
I'm just saying, look how pasty white that arm is and how blonde that hair is.
How flat is that mom?
I know.
I'll be damned.
Well, she could have some giant titties tucked under here, under the table. This is clearly a table.
But
That's a strange photo. The way that she looks almost photoshopped on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a little girl to me. If we're to assume that tot has been thrown in the oven,
yeah,
it's definitely a girl. I would say probably better off cooking a girl than a boy. If you had to.
If you had to cook, you'd rather cook a girl than a boy?
I don't know. If you had to pick one.
Yeah.
On the breast meat.
Does it look like the mom's wearing a bra, by the way? What is going on here?
I don't
This
know
is a
what that
disturbing
is.
image.
Yes,
I don't like
know.
this image. And lastly, before we get to some email, some more information is starting to trickle out about the White Sox player that was bringing his brat to work all the time, LaRoche.
Yeah.
God,
you hear all these just people
Adam
over
LaRoche?
the weekend. Oh my gosh, so much credit, family. Dude, that
Shut
had to
up.
be
That
so
was-
annoying.
It was not him being some family to me.
That is
There's-
no, I don't
You think so?
doubt
Okay.
that. Yeah, he wants to be with his kid, but dude,
Yeah.
if you can't see how that would be disruptive to people, or if not disruptive, just annoying as shit.
Well, and the other thing is, dude, you're not even just in an office, and it's this. You're in a freaking Major League Baseball clubhouse. Grown men playing. You know what goes on. We all know what goes on in locker rooms. Come on,
people are really pointing to the fact that, oh, he walked away from a $13 million contract
for his kid, right?
for
Is that
his child.
deal?
Yeah,
For-
family first. Remember the hashtag,
Yeah.
family first. And he's really kind of thrown Kenny Williams under the bus, the executive VP of the team, the guy that signed him. And basically, we had heard the other day how he just wanted him to like tone it down a little bit.
Right.
Bring your kid here every minute of the day. Drake, who had a private tutor during the baseball season, Drake LaRoche, Adam LaRoche's son, had a private tutor during the season, attended about 120 games, traveled with the team, participated in drills, and even had his own uniform and locker.
It's just so presumptuous. Unless there was a deal worked out before and they're trying to go out back on some deal. And I have heard talk about that it was discussed during the contract signing. Is it in writing? I don't know. I'm sure he'd be throwing it out there if it is. Probably isn't. But it just seems, come on, man. Like, you can't see how that would be annoying to people. Everybody loves their kids. I get it. But
Yeah.
I would not bring my kids here every day.
Yeah.
For several reasons, but one of them being it would be obvious that it would
Unless-
just be disruptive and presumptuous to think that you guys would be okay with my kids sitting here.
I gotta be
everywhere.
honest. Unless we could just get those omelets, and then he was out of here after the omelets. Then
How
I'd
about
be
the
okay.
cookies? The cookies weren't bad either.
I'm not. They were good. I'm just not as big of a cookie fan.
Have you guys ever worked in a situation where someone brought someone to work all the time, whether it was a child, a significant other of some sort? It is disruptive.
Yeah.
No, of
It's
course.
very disruptive, and it's not that you dislike any individual. It's because it's something different and it alters what's going on in an office or something.
Well, and it alters his focus for sure too. So he's there tending to his kid, having a great time with his kids. Like, dude, get your head in the game. You're batting 205.
Yeah.
We kind of need you.
Yeah.
Maybe if your kid wasn't here every day, maybe if you weren't hitting fungos to your kid for the last
Mhm.
half hour, you could be hitting some balls and picking up your numbers.
And how far across the line do we go before it's acceptable to say something? Because let's be honest, kids have been coming into locker rooms of major league players, especially well-established players. You never have a rookie demanding to bring his kid into a locker. It's always a veteran who's making big bucks, thinks the world owes him something, and can go, I've decided I need to be around my child all the time, and so I'm going to put this new demand on my team. You would never pull that shit as you're digging your way into a roster. You do it when you're an established guy that's making $13 million a season and your career's winding down.
Why is it? Because you know it's disruptive.
Of course it is.
And you know, all things being equal, they would say no.
And where do you draw the line? So if you allow them in there, okay, it's cute the first time you see him go up to a microphone. It's, oh wow, look at what a great family guy. His kids in the locker room after a big win in the playoffs. But dude, when you start talking about, oh, he takes drills with the team, are you kidding me? Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
You've got a major league baseball team. Guys paid millions of dollars to do something to play a game, and every game matters. And now you're talking about time dedicated where you've got a hitting coach hitting grounders to this little fucking 7-year-old. That doesn't seem absurd to anybody. 14-year-old, whatever he is. He's been hanging around since he was 7.
Yeah. No, my big thing would be like LaRoche's attention to the team. You know, if he's hitting 389, maybe I don't have so much of a problem with it. Maybe I look at it as like superstition, like, keep bringing your kid. You're doing great.
Sure.
But you're hitting literally like 205 or something last year.
Yeah.
Like, dude, let's focus on the team here. What is your obligation to the team? What is your priority?
Officials told USA Today on the condition of anonymity that several players, as we suspected, and staff members privately complained about Drake's presence. After LaRoche failed to comply with Williams' request to bring Drake 50% of the time, which is what you were talking about, then reportedly banned Drake from the clubhouse, Williams later reverted back to his original request, but that's when he decided to retire. So he's like, dude, just bring your kid half the time. Don't bring him every day.
Yeah.
And that was outrageous. #family first. Williams, let's see here. It was in a lengthy statement. He said he chose to follow what he knew and his heart was right when he made the difficult decision. In each and every instance, baseball has given me some of life's greatest memories. This was likely to be the last year of my career, and there's no way I was going to spend it without my son.
Ugh.
Williams said Drake is very welcome, just as all our players' kids are and always have been, really. I mean, the policy is not changing. The thing I asked for was just dial it back. He added that his son is loved by everyone around here. And of course, if your son wasn't loved by everyone around there, what are they going to do? Tell you?
Right.
If your kid was here being obnoxious, even if he wasn't, if it was just like, God damn it, Jay, I need you to pay attention on this. Stop worrying about what Manny's doing right now. Am I really going to go, Jay, your kid's an aunt? No, odds are that people aren't going to do that. It shouldn't be on me to make sure you're aware. We know how parents are with their children. Of course they love their children. We've seen it time and time again, examples of that. It shouldn't be on everybody. Well, nobody said they had a problem with it. What's the problem? Yeah, well, most people have more couth than that.
Yeah,
they're not going to go,
trying to be
your
cool.
kid's an asshole. Your kid's, I'm running out of fly ball and I'm worried about tripping over your fucking kid. You know, I don't want to plant a knee in your kid as he's doing sliding drills in the middle of our diamond. He also asked at one point, LaRoche asked the team or asked management to be told if anyone had a problem with the team, with the teen's presence, so that he could immediately address it. Again, not something they should have to do.
Right.
Why put him in that position that they have to, you need to be pulled aside now when this needs to be dealt with?
And I'm sure he would have had no problem with that. Had Joe Blow come to him and said, hey, man, I got a problem with your kid. It's annoying to me. Oh, yeah. I'm sure he would have taken that just fine.
Sure he would have. Sure he would have.
Oh, you have a problem? Oh, no problem. Then I'm not going to have him here anymore. Drake, go home.
Yeah. Sure. LaRoche said his choice to walk away was not a reflection of how he felt about his teammates or White Sox manager or the general manager or the club's owner. It all boiled down to Williams, Kenny Williams. My decision to walk away was simply the result of a fundamental disagreement between myself and Kenny Williams. I'd say don't shoot the messenger, sir.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who knows how far up the ladder that went. I mean, it's not discrimination against your kid. It sounds like you could, you know, this happens all the time where things, it's like, oh yeah, this was meant to be a cool thing, you know, involve things, but some asshole gets way out of control with it. And now it's everybody else's problem to deal with.
And one may look at that and say, that's why the market is what it is in part. You're being paid $13 million because you do have to take time away from your family. That is a long season. That's a ton of travel. That would suck.
Yep.
The other side of it is you are paid a lot to do that.
Yeah.
So he wants the best of both worlds. He wants his cake and to eat it too.
It sounds like it.
Spring is almost here. Well, it's here.
It is.
Today's the first day.
Spring has sprung.
Yesterday is the first day of sprung. And that means soon April showers will bring May flowers. So let's start celebrating spring a little early at Zott Ford and Holly, where right now you can lease a new 15 Ford Edge for just $199 per month with only $1,000 out of pocket. You heard right, $199 for an all-new 15 Edge while supplies last from our friends at I-75 and Exit 98. See their blasphemous deals and massive inventory at zotford.com.
Do we have any email?
We do have some email,
I didn't
Mike.
see a lot come in over the weekend, but
I haven't had a chance to glance through all of it, but I did pull a few. Douglas writes in, the girl laughing at Hamilton. So we're referring, of course, to Brad Hamilton of Fast Times at Ridgemont High fame. And we referred to him working at the
pirate
Captain
Hooks or something.
Captain Hooks.
He threw his pirate hat out the window.
Basically like a Long John Silver's type deal. And we were hearkening back to that scene, the girl pulling up next to him laughing. He says the girl laughing at Hamilton is Nancy Wilson of Heart.
Really?
Did you know that?
Like of Ann and Nancy Wilson fame.
Yeah.
Really?
Her then husband was Cameron Crowe, who did that movie.
Yeah. That makes sense.
He says, Douglas says, you guys need help with your pop trivia. It's a little weak.
Agreed.
Well, your spelling's a little weak, Doug.
Ooh.
W-E-E-K.
Yeah, that's her.
Is that her?
Yep.
Look at that fuzzy sweater, huh? Look at her just laughing at Hamilton. Hamilton thinks she's, look at her giving me eyes. Giving me eyes. And he looks in the rear view mirror of the cruising vessel. What does he see? A pirate hat.
Yep.
And he realizes she's laughing at him.
I had the same thing happen to me, remember? After a night out with you clowns and woke up.
Oh, you were mustachioed.
And I look over and there's a car full of chicks and they're smiling and kind of laughing. And I'm just like, hell yeah, bitches. What's up? I'm hungover driving home. And I kind of, at that point, glance up into the rearview mirror and see that I've gotten fag and asshole written on my forehead in Sharpie and a mustache.
Well,
it's like, wow. Guess who passed out first last night?
Dumbass.
Why couldn't just shave an armpit? No, you had to write asshole and fag.
Oh,
on
that
the
happened
forehead.
later. Shaved an armpit. Doug
That's itchy, by the way.
Yeah.
Getting an armpit shaved. Oh, it's very, very itchy. Yeah.
Remember when Osterbeck shaved his armpits and they never grew back?
Yes.
It's crazy.
10 years later. He said, dude, have anything? Nope. Look, check it out.
Wow.
Gone.
And it didn't look like he kept shearing it. Like it did not look like that at all. It looked like a baby's bottom.
And I think he was on the swim team. And so he did it like he was on the swim team for a year.
Time.
Yeah.
I love it. These high school swimmers, very, very mediocre swimmers, not even close to top class, and they're shaving their heads.
Oh, I know.
Shaving their bodies. Got to shave off a tenth. Hey man, it's a tenth of a second. Who knows? Get rid of that drag. Could be all the difference.
Yep.
Great show. Haven't missed
We're going
a minute
to States this year.
Doug. And then he offers us his phone number in case we get stumped in the future. So Douglas, we will keep you in mind as the trivia guru.
I always struggled with that type of stuff when we would do Stump the Staff.
Yeah.
Like you had to get right in my wheelhouse. Yeah. Getting those like trivia questions of who played so-and-so or I never did all that well with those.
Fred writes in, hey fella, thought I would chime in on the burying ashes in the cemetery. So of course we talked about being cremated and buried as well.
Oh,
kind
yes.
of the belt and suspenders approach to burial. While we did not pay
Sorry.
Fred says, thought I would chime in. While we did not pay for a plot, we did.
Sorry.
Did you declare the belt and suspenders approach to burial?
Sorry.
Is the cremation than burial?
Well put, sir.
While we did not pay for a plot, we did bury my grandfather's ashes. Listen to this. My grandparents had adjoining plots, but after my grandmother died, my mom and aunt decided to give the second plot to my aunt. So we're following that?
Yeah.
So after my grandfather died, he no longer had a plot. So we decided.
Why would they give the plot away?
Because they needed a spot for the sister or the aunt, and figured, I don't know,
buy another. The plot thickens, sir. Go ahead.
Well, he no longer had the plot, so we decided to just bury his ashes next to Grandma. We went to the cemetery. My family had gathered around the grave to form a screen while I had to dig a hole and dump his ashes in. As Grandma and Grandpa did not sleep in the same bed for decades before they died, my mom and aunt started screaming, "Stop! Stop!" I look up and they're screaming, don't bury him on top of her. She'll haunt us all." So I dug not one, but two holes in the cemetery while praying no one comes running over yelling, "Hey, you can't do that," because once you dump out the ashes, you sure as hell can't scoop them back up and put them in the box. It's a good point. Side note, if you haven't seen the pile of refuse you get back after a cremation, I'll tell you, it sure as hell isn't ashes like you see in the movies. Think a pile of half-eaten chicken and rib bones. Like after the dog got in the garbage, mixed with dirty instant potato flakes.
Oh, I didn't need to hear that.
Really? Wow, what a visual. I can totally picture that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to run that by the dead body expert, but
It makes sense, honestly,
Yeah.
that it does not look
Just
like it does in
white
the
ash.
movie. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for the visual, Fred. Awesome. And we'll save the rest for tomorrow.
Okay. Well, let's call it there then. Do we have anything to that we need to plug? Anything coming up, E, for you?
Not until next Friday, so we're fine for now.
Okay.
Look at that poops, huh? A little baby bunny.
Poops.
As K-Dog often does, he takes us out of broadcast with a cute poops video.
Yeah,
So
if you're
anyone watching on YouTube, please enjoy this golden retriever and baby bunny.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Listen to God, watch you grow, you know